Hello and welcome to the Maple Grove City Report. I'm Dave Kaiser from Northwest Community Television. In the next half hour, an update of what's new in Maple Grove and a report on the last council meeting. All next on the Maple Grove City Report. And thank you for joining us on the Maple Grove City Report, joined by City Administrator Al Madsen. Al, welcome again to the program.
Thank you, Dave.
We've got some items to talk about, not much of a council meeting to talk about, so we'll save that to the end, but a number of other things happening in town. We'll begin with election season. It is upon us as we tape this in the beginning of October. You've got some forums and other events lined up. Tell us about those.
This Thursday night, October 4th, I guess it is, we have at the Government Center, Maple Grove Government Center, in our council chambers, there will be a candidate forum for the local office, Maple Grove offices, from 6:30 to 8:15, and then beginning at 8:15 will be the legislative offices.
Okay.
So that's October 4. It's beginning at 6:30 at the Maple Grove Government Center. So.
And for those that might not know, the local offices that they'll be voting on this year are what exactly?
2 city council members, right. And while we're talking about elections, we have probably about 470 election judges, but we would like to have more.
Okay.
Because what's happening is, this is a huge election, but what's happening is a lot of the election judges cannot work the entire shift, you know, from 7 in the morning until probably 7, 8, 9, 10 at night. And so we have some that can work part of a shift, but not the entire shift.
Okay.
And so if anybody is interested in being an election judge, it's not too late. You know, come go to our website and you know, sign up. We'd love to have some extra help. In addition, be sure to check where you're voting.
Right.
We have 23 precincts. We have sent out information to homeowners. It's been in the newspaper. It's also on our website, so people can go and they can find out, okay, I'm in precinct XX, and that's where I vote.
Okay.
So be sure to check the precinct before you go to the polls and get to the line and say, oh, this isn't where I'm supposed to be. So
very good idea.
And then the other thing is that this is a reminder to all the candidates, is that signage.
Yeah.
I'm getting more complaints from residents and businesses where campaign signs have been put on their property without the permission of the property owner. And so if you're going to put a sign up, see the property owner first, the homeowner, the business, whatever. Get their permission first to put that sign up, and then also make sure that it is not in the public right-of-way, nor on city-owned land. And I'm finding that too, where you know, city does have some vacant parcels, and all of a sudden, bingo, there is 1, 2, 3 political signage, and that stuff kind of multiplies like rabbits. You know, once one goes up, there's plenty more. So that's just a reminder. But this election is going to be very huge election, and so if anybody's interested in being an election judge, go to our website, come and see us, whatever the case may be.
Requirements for that have to be a certain age and have to go through a little bit of training.
A little bit of training, yeah, a little bit. 18 and over, you have a little bit of training, but you know, if you're not, let's say, the head election judge, if you're head election judge, then the training is certainly a lot more extensive.
Right.
But otherwise, and we certainly can provide, or we certainly can use people just to, maybe not actual election judge, but just to provide assistance at the polling place. And we have to have an equal balance of parties at the polling places. And so that also kind of makes it difficult. And someone will say, we got 470 election judges. Well, that's true, but again, not all of them work the entire day, but again, you got to have that balance.
Yeah, so that is amazing. All right, so go to the website. We'll show that to you at the end of the program so you can jot that down.
You bet. One very important thing is that one of our police officers, Mike Hellman, responded to a call last year and was assaulted by a male. And Mike has had health issues ever since. He's had some issues that he's been dealing with, has not been able to come back to the force. There's a benefit for Mike being held this coming Sunday the 7th at the community center in Maple Grove. Starting at 3:30, there'll be a variety of fun activities as well as food and things like that. So I'd encourage anybody, if they have, you know, a free opening on the Sunday the 7th, stop by the community center and let's help Mike get through this. He wants to get back to work. He's a dedicated police officer, and as I've said, you can't keep a good man down, and so he's working hard to get back to the force, but anything we can do to help him would be appreciated.
Very good. No reservation needed ahead of time. Just stop by if you can.
Just stop by if you can,
Okay.
absolutely.
Good.
You bet. The Yardway site, we will, we estimate Monday, hit our 2 millionth visitor.
Okay.
That's been there since 1990, so 22 years. I think that calculates out to roughly, 100,000 visitors a year, which that Yardway site, I mean, it started out slow, but of course as the population increases, and then it's not just Maple Grove residents,
Right.
other residents can come there as well. But yeah, we figure we'll tap 2 millionth visitors, so that's been a tremendous benefit, I think, to not only our residents, but residents of other communities too. So
Very good.
I use it quite extensively.
How has the use been this year with the drought or dry weather that we've had? Have you seen any difference? Have they reported that there's been a few less grass clippings? Or
Well, I've been told that there's a little bit less, right, because of the drought. People are not mowing their lawn as often. They're not trimming their trees maybe as often. So there's a little bit less, but I still think it's quite high. So it's a great benefit.
Yes, certainly is.
A couple other things I have mentioned in the past, and also I did a short snippet with Ann Gallagher on the CNN Money Magazine, where Maple Grove was selected as one of the top 25 cities in America to live. We should be receiving a plaque shortly for that, and I'm hoping that it'll be here so we can present it to the City Council at the October 15th meeting. So
Very nice.
We're very proud of that, very proud of that. Also in the November meeting, we're going to have officials from XL Energy that are going to stop by and kind of update the City Council on the recent power outages, and I was one of the victims.
Lucky
for
you.
Yeah, for about 10 hours. And just to give an update on what happened with those power outages, what they did to correct it, and what plans does XL Energy have in the future for equipment update and modernization and things like that. So it'll either be the first or second meeting in November.
In a nutshell, what have you heard up to this point? What was the cause?
It was a cable failure in both cases. In my case, on my street, cable failed. They fixed it at one half. Let's say the 92nd place is a long street.
Okay.
They got it repaired, but then the second half it failed. And so that's the portion that was out for about 10 hours. And lucky me, that was where I live. So the other, which impacted a lot of the businesses in the Dunkirk area, that again was a cable failure. So we just want to get a report from XL officials as to, okay, give us an update and then tell us what things does XL have coming up in the future for modernization and things like that. So
These
it's
are
always got to be upgrades.
Underground cables? That's
Yes.
where, okay.
Yes. Yep.
Makes life a little bit more difficult to try to fix those. So.
It does. I mean, it's nice from our standpoint because it's aesthetic-wise, you have things underground. But again, yes, it takes a little more time to pinpoint where the problem is. So, our law enforcement training facility, we are still moving forward with the reconstruction of that. There was a fire about a year and a half ago. We're working with a number of different communities around us for agreements for a joint partnership with a variety of communities to use that facility. And so that we are anticipating that will be complete January 8th, of 2013.
Very good.
Road construction, Weaver Lake Road.
One of our favorite
Yeah,
topics.
that's right. Weaver Lake Road should be, they're going to do some lane switching over the next few days, but Weaver Lake Road should be, for the most part, complete in the next couple of weeks. There still will be some landscaping,
Sure.
things that they would have to do. Bass Lake Road, one of our all-time favorites.
Yes.
It's a project that's been going on for 5 years. That is expected to be complete in December of this year.
Okay, very
So,
good.
When I say
That's
a
right.
month,
Which
I
December?
always got to add the years. So, but December of this year, and that's been a long time-consuming project, but when it's done, I think people will really love it, and maybe they'll forget how it was. So we're looking forward to that to being complete. Our housing projects, right now we're at about 135 single-family homes. That compares to about 125 last year. Business development is picking up. We had a good year last year with business development. Started out a little bit slow in 2012. Beginning the second quarter of 2012, we're starting to see business development picking up. Whole Foods is taking the Ultimate Electronics spot, and Redstone Cafe is taking where Boston Pizza was. Aldi's is coming in. They'll start construction shortly here for their grocery store out by the hospital. Upshur Smith is expanding to the tune of 121,000 square feet. So that's a huge expansion for Upshur Smith, and that's a great addition to the city. Boston Scientific always seems to be expanding their operations. So there's a good sign. We're seeing start seeing a nice turnaround. You know, the downturn in residential and business development is not just unique to Maple Grove. It's impacted, you know, every community across America. But we're starting to see now a turnaround, and I think we're going to have a nice, healthy year for 2012. And some of the projects that we're working on right now will not become reality until 2013. But I think we're going to see a real strong 2013. So, real happy with all that.
Excellent.
Foreclosure rate is down. It continues to drop. Every month it continues to drop. Right now we're at 232. We probably might have peaked at around 500 or something like that. So that's dwindling very nicely. It is. It's dwindling very nicely. And then, as I mentioned, the business growth is picking up. Also, we just completed a survey of 14 metropolitan cities. And Maple Grove has the second lowest tax levy for 2013 is 1.41%. Eden Prairie is just about 1%, but we're at 1.41% for our proposed 2013 budget. So that's, you know, that's the areas you want to be the lowest in. And so, so we're the second lowest out of 14 metropolitan communities. So it was quite an extensive survey. The citywide cleanup is coming this Saturday, October 6th. From 8 a.m. until noon, people can take things over to our Public Works facility. The curbside pickup, that ended, but this Saturday, the 6th, from 8 a.m. to noon, people can, whatever they may have, they can haul it over to the Public Works facility and drop it off there. So,
what are the most common items, and what are a few items that they can't bring? I know there might be a few on the do not bring list.
Well, electronic, you know, TVs and things like that, because just, you know, the elements that those contain. A lot of people will drop off, you know, maybe a washer, maybe a dryer, or they may drop off old vacuum cleaners or old leaf blowers, or, you know, things like that. So we always get a very good turnout from our residents. It's a great opportunity. It's free. You know, bring it over there.
That.
No, I can't beat it at all. Bring it over there and drop it off, and it's, you know, one less thing to be sitting in the garage. So
Exactly.
in my case, I'm getting rid of a couple of things.
And then what do you do with them? Do you have vendors that you work with that take those away and can use some of those parts?
Absolutely right. That's a good point. Yes, we do have vendors that have lined up with us over the past years, and some of them, yeah, they can reuse some of the items, rebuild them and things like that. So it's a win-win to us and our residents, because, you know, our residents have the ability to get rid of some of the stuff that's been accumulating in a garage.
Great opportunity.
And I'm a good example of that. So my wife keeps reminding me, when are you going to get rid of that? And so.
And
well,
you said
the
day is coming.
The day is coming. Absolutely right. Yes. I want to say congratulations to Tom Hedges, who is the Eagan City Administrator. Tom is retiring after 36 years as the one and only city administrator that Eagan has had. He's the longest serving city administrator in Minnesota, and I think he's got to be one of the top 5 in the nation. And so I just want to say congratulations to Tom. He's just a great guy, and it's a loss to Eagan. It's a loss to our profession, because he's just he's just been such a fantastic city administrator over the years. So.
And you speak of that amount of time, he has seen just a few changes in
Oh,
that
gosh.
amount of time
Right.
for a town like Eagan,
Oh,
what
has
it
he ever.
started as and how it is
Right.
today.
Yeah, has he ever? Yeah, he has just seen it grow from a little small thing to a major city. So, see, a couple other things I think here. Maybe we've already covered them, but let me just check my notes. Farmers Market. How could I forget that? Had I forgot it, I would have been reminded after Carol would see the show.
Right.
The 2013 or 2012 outdoor season is coming to an end. October 18 will be the final Thursday for the outdoor farmers market, and then beginning on let's see now. October 4th, 11th, and 18th will be the last outside. And then plans are being put together for the inside, which will be the first and third Thursdays of November and December.
Okay.
So we move probably about 20, 25 vendors into the community center. And the first time we did that a few years ago, we weren't quite certain how that was going to go over, but it's proven to be very successful. This is the 9th year of our farmers market, and so I'm amazed that it's that long. And so Carol's reminded me that when the 10th year comes, there'll be a 10th year anniversary.
Should be some big celebration. I agree.
Absolutely, right. So that's about it, I guess, for updates. Again, elections is just a very, very critical part, and I encourage people to check your precinct where you vote, and also if you're interested, even if it's just for a few hours, come out and assist, and just go to our website, and we can also you can also come to the government center. And speaking of the government center, we have 23 voting precincts, but in a way, the government center is number 24 because that's where absentee voting takes place. We have seen quite an increase in absentee voting over the past few weeks. So if somebody, if they're going to be out of town or whatever the case may be, they know they're not going to be able to vote on November 6th. Come to our government center site. You can fill out an absentee form. Right. Given the ballot, you can either vote there because we have voting booths there, or you can take it with and then, bring it back or mail it back. Okay. So the absentee voting is at the government center. Council meeting was relatively short. We pretty much had to just approve some resolutions and approve just some things that the council had already approved at the previous meeting, and there just has to be a more formal action. We did a Toastmasters proclamation for October 2012 to be Toastmasters month, and so that was something that the mayor proclaimed. Okay. And we also provided an amendment to Granite City Brewery. They have like a number of the others, have expanded or added an outside area. Right. And so that requires an amendment to their liquor license for liquor to be served outside. Granite City has gone to outside, Houlihan's, Three Squares, I think Champs, Redstone will be. All of them have, right. One of them started. It was kind of amazing. One of them started, and then all of them started to have some areas for outside seating. But it does require an amendment because alcohol cannot be served outside. So you need to amend the liquor license to allow those that have the outside patios, gives them the opportunity to provide liquor there. So we did receive a $2,500 donation from Walmart, and that will be used for a variety of our fire prevention programs. Walmart has been very good over the years with providing funding for some of the fire prevention programs, and so it's been put to great use. Again, we appointed a number of election judges, and we did pick Friday, November 9th, excuse me, as a special city council meeting day. We have to, after the elections, not sooner than 3 days nor more than 10 days after the elections, you have to pick a day for canvassing the vote. What that means is that vote totals come in, the city council takes a look at those. has to complete a form, which then is provided to the county. And so we picked Friday, November 9th at 4 p.m. for canvassing the vote. It's a very short, 3 minutes,
Right.
4 minutes, 5 minutes, but it's required by state law, so it's just one of those things we have to go through. So, other than that, it was a relatively short meeting, very smooth meeting, and things continue to hum along very nice.
We've mentioned a couple times the volunteers needed to help out on the election. How about from a staff standpoint?
Oh, gosh.
How many staff are involved in the election process from all the different areas? And it certainly is something you have to budget for. When you get to a year like this, that becomes an extra item in the budget. Is that correct?
Yeah, it is an extra item. I think the cost of elections will probably be around $250,000 to $300,000.
For the city of Maple Grove.
Correct. Now, one thing nice is that the 2012, the administration department's budget 2012 is about $250,000 to $300,000 up, but 2013
Yes,
it's down.
You look really good.
I look
don't
great.
you?
I look great in 2013. I got a
Right.
huge drop in my percentage drop in my budget, but we have quite a few staff. We have probably, I would say, a dozen that are working a part-time basis and some a full-time basis. That includes some of our existing employees who are full-time. But one of the nice things is that we've been very fortunate over the years, and I think the credit of this goes to Deputy City Clerk Stevie Cole Anderson, who handles our elections, is that we get a repeat of a lot of election judges. We get a repeat of a lot of part-time staff that comes back every couple of years to help us with elections, and so that makes it much, much easier. Now, this year, getting election judges has been a little more difficult because more and more people are just not able to put in a full day, and so you got to start finding those that could work a half a day and those that can work another half a day. So it's a little more difficult, but if you see the activity going on at the government center, it's just mind-boggling because the training that has to take place, but just the documentation that has to take place. And on this ballot, we've got the 2 constitutional amendments, and that is going to create some additional work for the election judges. And just the fact that you got, the state legislature is up, you got the local level, you got county, you got judges, and you got a federal election. And
right.
so, which I think will, be a very, very high turnout.
Right.
So we normally, our turnout normally is very, very good, better than the state, and so we hope that is the same. But the elections are just mind-boggling, and the paperwork involved is mind-boggling.
How about the logistics with the equipment? Obviously, there's a lot of machines that need to go out to all these locations.
Right.
People might think that, well, that's the state or the county that's doing all of this for everyone. Not the case, is it?
No, it's not. We have to take all the voting machines out to 23 different precincts, and we also take additional voting machines in case one breaks down. You need to have some spares, and so no, that's handled by staff. We also provide water, for the election judges, and coffee, and so what we normally do is the department directors and myself usually are out at the polling places around 5:30 in the morning, dropping off, the coffee and water and things like that. But yeah, the polling machines, that's strictly the city's responsibility to get all of that equipment out to each one of the 23 precincts, and that alone is just a big job right there.
And the goal, obviously, is to make sure everything is working perfectly ahead of time, because the last thing you want is the polls close at 8, you go to get the details out of the machine, and nothing happens.
And that
has
happens
occurred a time or two, doesn't it?
Yeah, that has occurred in my time with the city, is that, you think you've got everything set, and you go to retrieve, and where is it? And and machines tend to break down, and it doesn't matter how maybe high tech we are, it still tends to break down from time to time. So
that's technology for you.
It is, yeah, you're right, absolutely. So we'll be happy when November 6th is passed by.
I can imagine.
Yes.
Well, we've again talked a couple times about the election judges. Let's leave you with that information if you're interested in finding out more, or what Al mentioned about helping out for the whole day or part of the day. Here is the contact information for the City of Maple Grove, and again, you can go to the city's website, which you see right up at the top there, And that will get you to some of that election information. The next council meeting will be on October 15th at 7:30 at the Government Center. And 494-6000 is the number to call to the Government Center if you have questions or comments. And if you want to have us address something on this program, 533-1710 is our viewer response line. For Al Madsen, I'm Dave Kaiser. Thanks for joining us on the Maple Grove City Report.